Peace. Today I'll be discussing different kind of stretching styles that will aid and assist your fitness journey. Without much being said, let's get straight into it. And pardon me if I'm like stuttering or I seem like I'm sluggish. I'm tired, but guess what? The grind don't stop. We still getting these videos out. You heard. So why stretching matters? Why would you stretch, right? So stretching boosts flexibility, which prevents injury and improves movement efficiency. And different techniques are used at different times: warm ups, cool down, or deeper flexibility goals. Okay, so you could either stretch before a workout, aka warm up, to get your blood flowing. This often is dynamic stretching, which we're gonna get into, or you could stretch as a cool down to alleviate the muscles and allow them to better recover and prevent that injury that you don't want to occur. Right. So let's get into the different kind of stretches. So you have static stretching. What is static stretching? So static stretching is one of the examples of the cool down stretches, right? So there's different kinds of static stretches. So static stretching, you want to hold a muscle for about 30 seconds at end range of motion. It can be active, you do it, or passive assisted. So oftentimes when you're being stretched, you'll often have the personal trainer come and help you, especially if you don't typically stretch, right? So this is what passive means. So you having passive stretching, right? So you was assisted, right? And so static stretching is best after workouts for flexibility and muscle relaxation. And so static stretching also lowers injury risk, okay, and it's ideal for the recovery phase. So this is why this kind of stretching is recommended after the workouts, right? Now, what is static stretching? That's what I'm gonna get into real quick. Okay, so this is an example of static stretching. I just wanted to give you guys a visual because I'm a visual learner myself, so always see the stretches. So you're holding those stretches for about 30 seconds. These are common stretches. You're holding these for about 30 seconds. This is cool down stretches that help alleviate pain and help prevent injury, right? So on to the next. Now we have PNF stretching. So PNF stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. And so PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, uses muscle activation and inhibition, right? So GTO and reciprocal inhibition, right? And there's three methods to proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, right? So you have hold relax, you have contract relax, and you have hold relax with endogenous contraction, right? And PNF, you want to begin with a 10-second passive pre-stretch for optimal results. Right now, I'm gonna get into the visuals. You guys can see PNF stretching. This is it right here. Very simple, right? Very simple. On to the next. And now you have dynamic stretching, which is part of a warm-up. Dynamic stretching includes controlled sport-specific movement patterns. So dynamic stretching often imitates sport-specific movement patterns. Dynamic stretching prepares the body for action. It boosts circulation and mobility. Dynamic stretching also is best before training or competition to enhance performance. Okay, so this is basically going to get your body ready and get you going, right? It's going to get your blood flowing. It's going to get you where you need to be before action is needed, because we know that before you get into an activity, you obviously have a precursor. So you have a moment before you get into the activity. Now, what heart rate are you at before you get into an activity instantly? Whereas you gradually take your time up to reach a certain heart rate beat or a certain beats per minute, right? So we already know that we have a resting heart rate, and when we increase our cardiovascular activity, our heart rate then begins to increase. Our heart rate begins to increase, right? Because we're moving our body to an extent that we wasn't before. Okay, and so with dynamic stretching, it's that warm up that you need, right? So I'm gonna show you guys what dynamic stretching is. All right, so look, like we said, right? So what does dynamic stretching do? It imitates the workout movements, right? So if this lady hurry up and do the stretch, hold on. So it imitates the workout movements, right? So it's different movements that you're gonna do when you're actually working out. Now, dynamic stretching just basically imitates it or does a slower, more relaxed form or version of the workout. Now, she should be doing squats. This is an example of good stretching, dynamic stretching. Boom, imitating the actual workout, to where when she actually work out, she may have a 45-pound weight right there. If that's an athlete, they're trying to build muscle, but this is a precursor. This is the basically the preview to the workout, right? So on to the next one. Okay, now you have ballistic stretching, which is the advanced method. So ballistic stretching uses bouncing to push beyond typical range of motion. A ballistic stretching can trigger stretch reflex, and this is a higher injury risk, right? This is why this is for the advanced. Because if it's triggering your stretch reflex, typically you want to already have that there. So you want to be used to stretching already. You want to be, your body wants to have the ability to stretch certain ways. You don't want to just go ahead and mess around, tore a ligament or something, right? So ballistic stretching mainly is used in sports settings by experienced athletes. Keyword: experienced athletes. I do not want nobody getting injured, okay? So this is ballistic stretching, triggering the stretch reflex. So as you can see, everybody right here, it has to have some kind of stretch in them, right? So they're pushing past their limits. They're somewhat experienced. Now this right here, this is simple, but not, what may be simple to me may not be simple to someone who's a sanitary person. So they sit a lot, right? So triggering stretch reflex. This is ballistic. Okay, and all of these stretches have benefits. Alright, so with that being said, this is why stretching matters, and stretching could definitely take you a long way. But you have to understand that even though it takes time, even though you have to take extra 5 to 10 minutes to get the stretching, and it makes your workout a little bit longer, it's important because your body not only is in recovery phase, it allows your body to reduce injury risk. It stretches your body beyond its limits, but also it allows you to prevent that injury that you don't want to happen, right? It allows you to be more active and efficiently perform to your highest ability, when you're engaging in sports, right? So with that being said, like I always say, make sure y'all do your own due diligence. And I'm signing out, man.